Well, greetings from Bradfield and welcome to this, my second reflection during Holy Week 2020. And I'm going to read another poem from the novel Dr. Zhivago by Boris Pasternak, the recent translation by Richard Pevere and Larissa Volokhonsky. A poem by Dr. Zhivago himself thinking around Holy Week and obviously comparing that in a sense out of his own experience as someone living through troubled and uncertain times. The poem is a bit of an obscure poem, a bit difficult in places, but it begins with a sense of quiet stillness. It's the small hours of the morning, the gloom, he talks of night time, the quietness of the earth, the quietness of the village town square, waiting for dawn. The poem begins. Still the gloom of night around, still so early in the world. The stars are countless in the sky, and each of them as bright as day, and if the earth were able to, it would sleep its way through Easter to the reading of the Psalms. Still the gloom of night around, so early an hour in the world. The square lies like eternity, from the crossroads to the corner, and the light and warmth of dawn are still a millennium away. That picture of the quietness of the earth with nothing to offer to help, bell ringers or church choir, nothing to offer to help with the worship of the church. The poem continues, the earth's still bare as bare can be, with nothing to put on at night to go and swing the bells outside and there back up the choristers. That quiet earth, but then a picture maybe of in the forest there's a turbulent river, there is movement, there is life, turbulent waters running through the still forest. Change is coming while everywhere else is still, watching and waiting and praying. The poem continues, and from great and holy Thursday right to holy Saturday, water bores the riverbanks and twines in whirlpools round itself, and the woods are undressed, uncovered, and at the service of Christ's passion, like the ranks of people praying, stand trunks of pine trees in a crowd. There's a sense of nature anticipating, watching events unfold. And then there's a picture of somehow nature crowding around the church, trying to see what's going on. The trees looking through the church gates, but filled with terror and alarm. The poem thinks or describes that sense of saying, it is God they're burying, that understanding of Good Friday. The poem continues, and in town, with very little space, as at a local meeting, trees, stark naked, stand and look through the church's grillwork gates, and their gaze is filled with terror. The cause of their alarm is clear. Gardens are coming through the fence, the order of the earth is shaken, it is God they're burying. That picture of nature watching what is happening and not understanding, but then the Good Friday procession comes out of the church, and there's a picture of the trees standing back, stepping back out of respect and reverence as the events of Good Friday are recalled. They see light by the royal doors, a black pall and a row of candles, tear-stained faces. Suddenly, the procession of the cross comes to meet them with the shroud, and two birches by the gate are forced to step aside for it. The trees are standing there. They see the procession bringing spring to the town. That sense of hope and life. The Good Friday procession recalling a death, but also foreseeing life and hope, the life and hope of Easter. And the procession makes its way around the yard and past the walk and brings to the chapel from outside spring and springtime conversation and air that smacks of blessed bread and of spring's intoxication. And March squanders its hoard of snow on cripples crowding by the porch, as if a man came out to them carrying the ark, and opened it and gave away all to the very last. And a picture there of the March sun warming the winter snow, the snow melting, and that sense of movement, of life, of a new beginning, and someone coming out from the church to those, the poor, the cripples standing by the church gate, hoping for alms, hoping for gifts, and that sense of new life and new hope being given to those who gather there. The poem moves to its conclusion. And the singing goes on till dawn. And when it has sobbed its fill, the reading of psalms and the epistle reaches more softly from inside to vacant lots under lamps. The quietness of worship reaches out to the spaces around, and in that quietness, moving on from Good Friday, through Holy Saturday towards Easter Sunday, there is the beginning of hope. The poem concludes, but at midnight, creature and flesh fall silent, hearing the springtime rumour, that the moment the weather clears, death itself may be overcome by the effort of resurrection. The poem concludes with that hope on Holy Saturday night of falling asleep, with that hope of Easter Sunday morning to follow. The poem Holy Week from Dr. Zhivago. And thank you for joining me to think about and recall the events and the meaning of Holy Week during these difficult days of Holy Week 2020. I do pray that you're keeping well and those whom you love and care for. And during these days, may God bless you, and may God bless those you love and care for, and may God bless us all.